Hey friends, it's Jasmine and I hope you all are doing well. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jasmine Ambrosia. Nice to meet you. Thanks for checking out my channel. I wanted to kind of address some things with you guys today and some changes that are going to be taking place as we move forward into 2021. My channel has always been a place of esoteric and the occult, sharing my experiences, teaching how to do spells and rituals, as well as primarily focusing on divination. And for the past several years, I've been teaching metaphysical classes on the occult, as well as divination classes. And divination is something that I am especially drawn to as far as practice-wise and as far as teaching. And moving forward in 2021, I am going to be implementing some pretty exciting changes. And I wanted to inform you all of my current students and all of my future students. I wanted to have this video as a little bit of a reference point. And then I also have some additional things I would like to mention in this video as well, just overall channel updates. As we've passed the Witches' New Year and our beloved Samhain, our Witches' Day of the Dead, I've been thinking a lot about what I've accomplished this year and about what I've done this year and what I would like to do next year and ways that I can improve myself and improve what I do, which includes the content that I create, moving forward into the next Gregorian calendar year. And if you're new to my channel, hello, thanks for tuning in. And I want you all to know right off the bat, I am not leaving YouTube, okay? I'm still going to be here on YouTube. I'm still going to be creating free content and free videos. And I have loved being here on YouTube. But I do want to say that I'm excited to announce that I am going to be also on Patreon. So I know that some of you have already subscribed to me on Patreon, and thank you so much. It really, really makes a difference. And I really appreciate you valuing the work that I do, especially because here on YouTube, I am limited to what I can say and what I can do. And over on Patreon, I can just keep it a lot more real, a lot more raw, and a lot more genuine than I can here on YouTube. And that's just a fact, you guys. There is a lot of censorship here on YouTube, and on Patreon, I can be a little bit more
unfiltered, if you will.
One of the biggest changes is my educational content and materials that I have been producing. Now, I have been a metaphysical and occult/divination teacher and instructor for the past several years. And I find this work incredibly fulfilling, and I love being able to teach divination and the occult. It's absolutely a passion of mine, and it's something that I look forward to every week is my weekly classes at the store. If you don't know, and I will leave some stuff in the description bar below, we do have a brick and mortar shop where we have an entire classroom set up with all the bells and whistles, a whiteboard, desks, a projector, and I get the privilege of teaching in that space, and that is so incredible. And I look forward to teaching even more subjects and classes. Now, I've also taught online for the past several years as well. And, I've had a wide array of amazing, wonderful, talented, strong, opinionated, beautiful students. And I appreciate all of them from the classes that they have taken. And I've honestly learned a lot from the students in my own classes. There's often times where I catch myself learning from my own students and getting new perspectives on things that, I hadn't thought of in that way before. So some of the changes that are going to be taking place, I've been on YouTube now for, a handful of years or so, and I've been teaching metaphysical classes just about as long. And In the past, I have had a Facebook group called Third Eye Fortune Student Group. And in that group, under the Files tab, you can find access to all of my classes and all of my lecture videos, lesson plans, class documents, homework, additional materials. I have kept that as a free resource because I want my classes and I want my content to be across the board accessible. At the store, you know, we charge $15 for a class. And if it's a class that has, or I should say, if it's a course that has multiple classes within it, if you prepay, we save you some money and you get kind of like an early bird special. That early bird special secures your spot in class because we are limited to 20 students in person. Though with this year and COVID, we have also started to expand our online students. And I have been incorporating our online learning students with our in-person classroom and integrating them both at the same time, which has been definitely a learning experience. You know, believe it or not, I'm not someone who is super like tech savvy. So it's required some growth and like some learning from me as well to kind of figure that out. But I'm happy that we're able to do that. And I'm excited that I've been able to teach people in class, you know, here locally in Indianapolis, but also people like from other states in the US, like California, Chicago. You know, we've had people travel to the store to take classes in person. And I've also had the super dope experience of being able to teach people in entirely other countries based on online learning. And learning is something that I continue to work on and to make sure that my online students have just as good as an experience as my in-person students. And one of the ways that I'm going to be doing that is creating educational occult material over on Patreon. And I know that some of you have already subscribed to my Patreon, and I appreciate that so much. I really do. When you subscribe to my Patreon, it directly supports me and what I do. And I have 2 tiers on Patreon currently. The first tier is a general support tier, and it's a $5 subscription a month. You can unsubscribe at any time. That $5 pledge basically just helps support me and what I'm doing. And, you know, it does add up and I really appreciate it. The second tier pledge is a $10 pledge, and a $10 pledge actually grants you rewards. The first tier pledge is primarily just donation. So the first tier does not have the rewards. It's the second tier, it's the $10 tier that is gonna have the rewards. Now, what these rewards are going to be, right? So the rewards, first of all, you're going to get early access to all of my content. So anything that I post on YouTube, as I've already said, I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm still going to be on YouTube. But anything that I post on YouTube is going to be posted to my Patreon first. So if you are a second tier pledger on my Patreon, you're going to get early access to all of my content. You will also be updated and notified when I am going to go live and where I am going to go live. Sometimes I go live on YouTube, sometimes I go live on Facebook. And if you are on my Patreon, you'll be notified ahead of time when I am going to go live. Also, all of my occult classes and divination classes like the tarot training course, the advanced tarot workshop, beginner's astrology, advanced astrology, lunar astrology, cartomancy, candle magic class, or candle craft workshop, and the sigil craft class, and all of the other classes and workshops like the Black Mirror Scrying workshop, they are all going to be available for you now over on my Patreon. Now, I'm still going to be teaching classes at the store, and if you are an online student or if you are an in-person student, you are also, along with the class or course or workshop that you're taking, you're going to receive the material. However, my Facebook group, my student Facebook group, they are no longer going to be under the Files tab. So in the past, like I've said, If you were in the student group, you could go to the Files tab and access all of my class material. And I've kept that as a free resource for the past several years. And I've been pretty passionate about making sure that this education and material is accessible to all people. But moving forward, I am going to be putting that on Patreon. So what this means is that if you subscribe to my Patreon, which is $10 a month for the second tier, and you can unsubscribe at any time you want. So if you want to subscribe for December and keep your subscription through February, you can unsubscribe later. It's not permanent, it's not definite. You can subscribe and unsubscribe and subscribe and unsubscribe. It's totally up to you. But my classes, my lectures, my workshops, and all of the additional occult educational material will be over on Patreon. And that is probably the biggest change that I am going to be making in 2021, along with extending e-learning to all of my classes. If you are a current student and you would like some digital copies of classes that you have already taken, please let me know and I'd be happy to send those over to you. And if you're not a current student, join my Patreon and check out some of the classes and the courses that I'm putting up there. We have a wide array of occult and divination classes. Like I said, we have tarot training course, which basically takes you from a novice understanding of Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot to someone who's fluent in Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. We have the advanced tarot training workshop. We have the Black Mirror Scrying. We have cartomancy and palmistry and advanced palmistry, beginner's astrology, advanced astrology, lunar astrology, and we also have some witchcraft classes as well, like the sigil craft workshop and the candle craft workshop. And there are going to be new classes and programs and workshops added throughout the year. So you will want to make sure that you stay tuned to that. Now, like I said, I'm not going to be leaving YouTube. I'm still going to be here on YouTube, sharing my craft, sharing my practice, sharing my opinions, and vlogging as I have been for, I don't know how long, the past several years. I'm still going to be doing all of that. The only thing that is changing is that I'm going to also be uploading on Patreon. So you can have access to my educational material that I teach in class at our brick and mortar classroom at our witch school. That's the main thing that's changing. So I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm still going to be here. I appreciate all of you for subscribing to my channel and for leaving me your likes and your dislikes and your comments. I appreciate all of it. I appreciate all the feedback, and you guys have really made my time here on YouTube worthwhile. And I appreciate all of you for subscribing to my channel, as my channel has grown so much in like the past couple years. I mean, it's wild to think this or not, but it's kind of wild as a content creator to look at how many people are subscribed to you and to try to visualize all of them standing in a room with you. Like, I'm just so humbled, and I'm so excited that you guys care what I have to say and that you guys enjoy my content. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate your feedback and your video responses and your likes and your dislikes and all of that. Your recommendations and your questions. You know, please always feel free to leave a comment below on content that you would like me to create. You know, let me know if you have a question, or, you know, if you would like me to make a video about something. I appreciate all of that, and I definitely take it to heart. I try my best to get back to all of the comments as well. So leave those below too. And I will be leaving some links down below in the description bar to my Patreon. There is no pressure for you to join my Patreon. You do not have to. Like I said, I'm still going to be here on YouTube. Or if you are interested in some of my occult and divination education, I highly recommend that you join my Patreon. And please remember that our e-learning and online student program is forever more growing and changing and improving. And if you would like to take any of my classes, you do not have to travel to the Midwest. You do not have to travel to Indiana and come to the in-person class. I can get you in class if you live out of state or out of the country, or you live in state and you live in town, but you just aren't able to travel. I can get you in class through our e-learning classroom, and I can integrate you in person. No problem. I have definitely learned how to navigate all of that. So it is not a problem at all. And I love being able to kind of integrate our in-person students with our online classroom. And integrating that has been so honestly challenging, but rewarding. So rewarding, because I am someone who's a little bit, I'll be honest, technologically incompetent, and I struggle a lot with technology, you guys. But this year has really taught me that I can figure it out and that I can make shit happen and make shit work out, okay? Because I have integrated these two themes between in-person and online. So going back to my Patreon, you are also, like I said, going to receive early access to all of my content. You are going to receive updates for when I am going to go live and where. And you will also have access, $10 a month, you will have access to all of my class lectures, lesson plans, homework, and class documents. So that is all going to be on Patreon. You are also going to have early access to my podcast. And for those of you who don't know, I host a podcast called As the Cauldron Bubbles. And this is a relatively new development, but I've been having so much fun with it. And I have a playlist here on my channel called As the Cauldron Bubbles. And I've been posting those episodes. So if you are on my Patreon, you are also going to have early access to the podcast episodes. So when I film an episode, it goes directly on Patreon. And then about a month later, it'll come onto YouTube. So no pressure if you don't necessarily want to subscribe to Patreon just for the podcast aspect. It'll be a month late on YouTube. Now, there are more things I have planned for my Patreon as far as physical rewards as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that right now, but I just want you to know that is something that I have kind of on the horizon as far as a physical reward for subscribing and to pledging to my goals, my mission, my content, because like I said, I really do appreciate all of my pledgers as well as my subscribers here on YouTube. So I just wanted to share some of that important information with you guys. As far as updates, as we kind of cross over the Witch's New Year, and we're all kind of evaluating ourselves and our craft and our practice and what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. And I wanted all of my current students, as well as potential any new students, to just be on the same page. So the Facebook group, the student Facebook group, is still going to be there. As it is a space of learning, and we do pop quizzes and connections, and it's a great way to meet like-minded people as well, as learn from each other. So that is still going to be there. The only difference with the Facebook group is the files tab is not going to have the lesson plans, lectures, videos, or class documents and homework in the lesson, not in the lesson, in the files tab anymore. That's going to be on Patreon, but the student Facebook group is still going to be there. And I will be leaving some links down below, like I said, to show you guys where my Patreon is and all of that. So thank you all so much for your support here on YouTube and for the support over on Patreon. I will still be here on YouTube creating content. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. And like I said, I really, really, really appreciate the support. My channel has grown exponentially in just the past couple months, let alone the past several years. And I am incredibly humbled by your support and your comments and everything you do to help kind of motivate and encourage me to keep creating content. So thank you all for watching. Welcome to my channel if you are new. Welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. And until next time, blessed be.